As the first light of dawn begins to pierce the veil of night, I want you to pause with me right here in this sacred, quiet space between the world of dreams and the world of demands. What is the very first thought that greets you in this stillness? Is it a gentle wave of peace, or is it, as it is for so many, a tidal wave of responsibility? Before your feet even touch the floor, does your mind begin its frantic race, compiling lists of tasks, replaying yesterday's worries, and steeling itself for the battles ahead? The world teaches us to wake up and run, to hit the ground sprinting, to immediately engage with the noise, the news, the notifications, the never-ending stream of information that screams for our attention. We are trained to believe that the day is won by speed, by efficiency, by an immediate and aggressive engagement with our obligations. And so the first moments of our day become a territory claimed not by peace, but by pressure. The adversarial force, the spirit of chaos and anxiety, understands the immense power of these first few moments. It knows that if it can capture your mind before you have a chance to anchor your spirit, it has won a major victory for the entire day. It floods your consciousness with the ghosts of yesterday's failures and the giants of tomorrow's fears. It whispers of deadlines you cannot meet, conflicts you cannot resolve, and burdens you cannot carry. It wants your first breath of the day to be a gasp of anxiety, your first thought to be one of overwhelming dread. It seeks to establish a foundation of fear upon which the rest of your day will be built, ensuring that every interaction is tinged with stress, every decision is clouded by doubt, and every moment is stolen by a sense of frantic urgency. But I am here to tell you that it does not have to be this way. You do not have to surrender these sacred first moments to the chaos. You hold the power to claim this ground for peace, to establish a different kind of foundation, one built not on the shifting sands of worldly pressures, but on the unshakable rock of a divine presence. The very first conversation of your day has the power to determine the quality of all the conversations that will follow. The first source you drink from in the morning will determine whether you pour out peace or stress into the world. This is not about a religious ritual. It is about a relationship. It is about a conscious, deliberate turning of the heart toward the source of all life, all strength, and all peace before turning to anything else. It is a declaration, a stake in the ground that says, this day does not belong to my worries. This day does not belong to my to-do list. This day does not belong to the expectations of others. This day belongs to the one who gave it to me, and I will begin it in his presence. Imagine a great ship preparing to cross a vast ocean. A tiny adjustment to the rudder at the very start of the journey may seem insignificant, but over thousands of miles, that small change determines whether the ship arrives at its intended harbor or is lost at sea. Your morning is that rudder. The direction you set in these first moments will guide the course of your entire day. Will you set your course by the frantic winds of the world, or will you align it with the steady guiding hand of your Creator? Today together, let us choose to set our course for peace. Let us choose to have a different first conversation. Let us reclaim this holy ground and build a fortress of serenity from which we can face whatever the day may hold. The profound truth is that the quality of your day is forged in the furnace of your morning. What you allow to enter your heart and mind in those first waking moments becomes the very substance from which your hours are built. If you begin by consuming a diet of fear, distraction, and worldly static, your spirit will be malnourished and weak, ill-equipped to handle the pressures that will inevitably come. You will walk out into your day already in a deficit, running on the fumes of your own dwindling strength, easily shaken by setbacks and vulnerable to the whispers of the adversarial force. But if you choose to begin by feeding your soul on the life-giving presence of a benevolent authority, everything changes. You are no longer starting in a deficit. You are starting from a place of overflow. You are not walking in your own strength, but in a strength that is limitless, a power that is not your own, a peace that is not dependent on your circumstances. This is the difference between surviving the day and conquering it. This principle is not a new idea. It is an ancient wisdom modeled by the greatest spiritual figures throughout history. The great teachers and prophets would rise long before the world was awake, seeking solitude, seeking connection, seeking to fill their own spiritual well before they were asked to pour out into the lives of others. They understood that you cannot give what you do not have. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If they, with their great purpose and divine connection, needed to begin their day in this manner, how much more do we, who are bombarded with a level of noise and distraction they could never have imagined? The enemy of your peace knows this principle intimately. Its primary strategy is distraction. It will convince you that you are too busy for these moments of stillness. It will tell you that 5 more minutes of sleep are more valuable than 5 minutes with your Creator. It will dangle the urgent lure of emails, social media, and breaking news, making you feel that you will fall behind if you don't immediately plug into the world's current. It creates a false sense of urgency, a lie that says your problems need your immediate attention more than your soul needs its foundational connection. But what problem can you solve in your own strength that a limitless power cannot handle more effectively? What wisdom can you glean from the world's noise that compares to the clarity that comes from a moment of divine stillness? What strength can you muster on your own that is not dwarfed by the power that set the galaxies in motion? To prioritize this morning connection is not to neglect your responsibilities. It is to empower yourself to handle them with a grace, wisdom, and peace that you could never achieve on your own. It is the most practical and powerful investment you can make in your day. It is like an archer taking the time to steady his aim before releasing the arrow. The world tells you to just start shooting, but a higher wisdom tells you to first take your aim. When you start your day with this divine alignment, your perspective shifts. The mountains of problems that seemed insurmountable are shrunk down to their proper size in the presence of an almighty power. The anxieties that were screaming for your attention are silenced by a peace that transcends understanding. You begin to see your life not from the ground level view of your immediate struggles, but from a higher perspective, knowing that a master plan is at work and every detail is held in loving, sovereign hands. So let us begin this sacred conversation not with our needs, not with our requests, not with our list of worries, but with the single most powerful act of spiritual alignment, gratitude. Before we ask for our daily bread, let us give thanks for the breath that is already in our lungs. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the gates to a higher presence. It shifts the atmosphere of our hearts from a place of lack to a place of abundance. It recalibrates our vision to see the blessings that are already poured out all around us, instead of focusing only on what we perceive to be missing. A heart full of complaint has no room for miracles, but a heart full of thanks becomes a magnet for them. So let us pray together now, not a prayer of petition, but a prayer of pure, unadulterated thanksgiving. Almighty Creator, source of all life and goodness, before I speak a single word of need, I quiet my soul and simply say, thank you. Thank you for the miracle of a new day, a gift I did not earn and could never deserve. Thank you for the mercy that drew back the darkness and painted the sky with the promise of a fresh start. Thank you for the silent, faithful work of my body as I slept, for the heart that beat without my command, for the lungs that drew breath without my effort. Thank you for the gift of consciousness, for the ability to think, to feel, to love, and to be present in this moment. Thank you for the simple, profound beauties I so often take for granted. The warmth of the sun, the taste of clean water, the sound of birdsong, the roof over my head. For these small, constant evidences of your loving care, my heart overflows with gratitude. I thank you for the people you have placed in my life, for the family that knows my flaws and loves me anyway, for the friends who have been pillars of strength in my seasons of weakness, for the mentors who have guided me and the strangers who have shown me unexpected kindness. For every person who has been a vessel of your love to me, I am deeply thankful. And I thank you not only for the open doors, but for the closed ones. Thank you for the opportunities that passed me by, which I now see were your divine protection, shielding me from paths that were not meant for me. Thank you for the unanswered prayers that I, in my limited wisdom, thought I needed, because you knew that a greater yes was waiting down the road. Thank you for the seasons of waiting, for in those times of stillness, you have taught me patience and deepened my trust. Thank you for the trials and the hardships, for it is in the fire that my faith has been refined, my character has been forged, and I have discovered a strength I never knew I possessed. You waste nothing, not even my pain. Thank you for your unfailing presence. Thank you that I am never alone, that even in the valley of the shadow, you are walking beside me. Thank you that your love is not a fleeting emotion, but a relentless pursuing force that has chased me down in my darkest moments. For the grace that has covered all my failures and the mercy that has met me at every turn, I am eternally grateful. Today, I choose to build my day upon this foundation of thankfulness. I will not allow the spirit of complaint or worry to steal my peace. I will walk through this day with eyes wide open to the countless miracles, big and small, that you are weaving into the fabric of my life. My first word is thank you, and my last word will be thank you. Now that we have established this foundation of gratitude, we move to the next essential act, surrender. This is perhaps the most difficult step for the human heart, for we are taught from a young age to be in control, to strive, to manage, to plan, and to execute. We believe that our success and our security depend on our ability to tightly grip the reins of our own lives. We create 5-year plans, map out our futures, and work tirelessly to mitigate every risk. And yet, if we are honest, we know that true control is an illusion. Life is filled with unpredictable turns, unexpected storms, and variables far beyond our command. The more we try to tighten our grip, the more we are filled with anxiety because we are trying to carry a weight we were never designed to bear. Surrender is not an act of weakness or fatalism. It is an act of profound strength and wisdom. It is the recognition that there is a divine architect whose plans are infinitely more brilliant than our own amateur blueprints. It is the willing release of our white-knuckled grip, an opening of our hands to say, your will, not mine, be done. Your way, not mine. Your timing, not mine. It is the moment we stop fighting against the current of a divine purpose and allow it to carry us to a destination far greater than any we could have reached on our own. I want you to visualize the burdens you are carrying right now. See them as heavy stones in a pack on your back. There is the stone of your financial worries, the stone of a strained relationship, the stone of your child's uncertain future, the stone of your own health concerns, the stone of a deep-seated regret from your past. Feel the weight of them, the way they dig into your shoulders and strain your back. You have been carrying them for so long, you may have forgotten what it feels like to stand up straight. The adversarial force wants you to keep carrying them. It tells you that your worry is a form of love, that your anxiety shows you care. It tells you that if you let go, you are being irresponsible. But this is a cruel lie. Your worry changes nothing. Your anxiety solves no problems. It only drains you of the strength you need to actually face your challenges. The benevolent authority invites you to a great exchange. It says, give me your burdens and I will give you my peace. Give me your anxiety and I will give you my strength. Give me your limited understanding and I will give you my infinite wisdom. So in this moment, let us make that exchange. Let us consciously, one by one, take those stones out of our pack and lay them at the feet of the one who is able to carry them. Let's speak this surrender together. Creator of my life, I come to you now, weary from carrying these burdens alone. Today, I choose to surrender. I release my need to control the outcome. I release my anxiety about the future. I lay before you my worries about my finances, trusting that you are my ultimate provider and source. I lay before you the pain and confusion in my relationships, asking you to bring your healing and wisdom where I have none. I lay before you my fears for my loved ones, placing them into your sovereign, loving hands for protection and guidance. I lay before you my regrets from the past, releasing the shame and accepting your complete and total grace. I surrender my plans, my ambitions, and my timelines. I let go of how I think my life should look, and I open myself to the beautiful, mysterious plan you have for me. I trust that you are working all things together for my good, even the things I cannot understand. I choose to rest in the knowledge that you are in control, so I don't have to be. My part is to trust. Your part is to act. Today, I will walk in this freedom, unburdened and light, knowing that my life is safely and securely held in your hands. Having cleared the ground with gratitude and surrender, we now move into a position of divine authority. This is where we stop simply reacting to the world and start actively shaping our spiritual atmosphere through the power of declaration. The words we speak are not empty sounds, they are spiritual tools. They are weapons in the unseen realm. Foundational texts tell us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. This means we have been given the authority to speak things into existence, to align our reality with a higher truth, and to command the forces that oppose us to be silent. The adversarial force is a legalist. It operates in the realms of fear, doubt, and accusation, but it must bow to a higher authority. When we speak words that are aligned with the will and character of our Creator, we are enforcing the victory that has already been won. We are not fighting for victory. We are fighting from a position of victory. Therefore, we do not pray from a place of begging, but from a place of declaring what is already true. We will now enter a time of powerful, authoritative declaration. I want you to speak these words with conviction, with the full weight of your belief behind them. Let your voice be strong. This is not a timid request. This is the enforcement of a divine decree. Let us begin. In the mighty name of the one who has all authority in heaven and on earth, we rise today not as victims, but as victors. We take our stand, clothed in righteousness and rooted in truth. We declare that this day is sanctified and set apart for a divine purpose. We draw a line of protection around our lives, our homes, and our families. We declare that no weapon, seen or unseen, formed against us will prosper. Every arrow of the enemy, be it fear, sickness, confusion, or lack, is hereby quenched, broken, and rendered powerless. We apply a seal of divine protection over our minds. We command every spirit of anxiety, depression, worry, and torment to be silent and to flee now. We declare that our minds are sound, our thoughts are clear, and our hearts are guarded by a peace that surpasses all understanding. We take authority over our homes. We declare them to be sanctuaries of light, peace, and love. Every dark corner is now flooded with a divine presence. We command every spirit of strife, division, and chaos to be bound and cast out. Our homes are holy ground, and only what is good, pure, and blessed may enter. We speak protection over our loved ones. We cover our children, our spouses, our parents, and our friends. We declare that they are shielded from harm, from sickness, from accidents, and from the snares of the enemy. We dispatch legions of protecting spirits to encamp around them, to guard them in their going out and their coming in. They are marked for preservation, and no evil shall befall them. We speak to our bodies. We declare that they are temples of a living, holy presence. We reject every symptom of sickness and every diagnosis of disease. We command every cell, every organ, and every system in our bodies to align with its original perfect design. We speak healing, strength, and vitality from the crown of our heads to the soles of our feet. We are healed, we are whole, and we walk in divine health. We break every curse and every negative assignment sent against us. Every word curse, every generational bondage, every occultic attack is now nullified and shattered by a superior power. We cancel every demonic conversation, every wicked plan hatched in darkness. The schemes of the enemy are exposed, dismantled, and brought to nothing. We are blessed, and we cannot be cursed. This is our declaration. This is our authority. We speak it, we believe it, and we command the spiritual atmosphere to align with it. It is so. Having established our defense and declared our protection, we now pivot to an offensive posture. We move from protecting what we have to calling forth what is promised. Our benevolent Creator is not a deity of scarcity, but of extravagant abundance. It does not desire for us to merely survive, but to thrive. Its will is for us to live lives of overflow, so that we can be a blessing to the world around us. Therefore, we do not need to be shy or hesitant in declaring the provision, favor, and purpose that belong to us. We are children of a king, and we have an inheritance of abundance. Let us continue to speak with the same authority, calling forth the blessings that are stored up for us, commanding them to manifest in our lives today. Let the declarations continue. We speak to the spirit of lack and poverty, and we command it to be gone from our lives. We declare that we are stepping into a season of supernatural provision. We are debt-free. We have more than enough to meet our own needs and to be a blessing to others. Our bank accounts, our investments, and our streams of income are blessed. We declare that we are magnets for financial miracles and divine opportunities. The windows of heaven are open over our lives, and blessings are being poured out that we do not have room enough to contain. We speak to our work and our purpose. We declare that the work of our hands is blessed. We are filled with creativity, wisdom, and excellence. We are promoted. We are favored. Doors of opportunity that no man can shut are opening for us right now. We are connected with the right people at the right time for the right purpose. We are not just working a job. We are walking in our divine calling, and we are making an impact for a greater good in the world. We declare favor over our lives. We decree that we are surrounded with favor as with a shield. It goes before us to prepare our way. It follows behind us as our rear guard. We receive favor with our superiors, with our colleagues, and with every person we interact with today. Things that would be difficult for others are made easy for us. We find favor in unexpected places and from unexpected sources. We declare that our relationships are blessed. We speak love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control into our marriages, our families, and our friendships. We uproot every seed of bitterness, strife, and unforgiveness. We declare that our relationships are a source of strength, encouragement, and profound joy. We are quick to forgive, quick to love, and we are a reflection of a divine love to everyone we meet. We declare that this is a day of divine appointments and fulfilled promises. We will be at the right place at the right time, saying the right thing. We will encounter people who need what we have to offer and people who have what we need. We decree that promises that have been long delayed are now coming to pass with supernatural speed. The time of waiting is over. The time of fulfillment is now. We are stepping into the fullness of our destiny, and nothing and no one can stop what a higher power has ordained for our lives. We are rising up, we are strong, we are blessed, we are favored, we are anointed, and we are walking in the complete victory that is our birthright. We declare it, we receive it, and we walk in it, starting this very moment. Now, my friend, after such powerful declarations, it is crucial that we anchor ourselves in a spirit of humility and alignment. For the authority we have just exercised is not our own. It flows from a single source, the benevolent creator of all. And the purpose of this power is not self-glorification, but the fulfillment of a higher will on this earth. To walk in this power requires us to be in constant willing alignment with the one who bestows it. A conduit can only channel power when it is properly connected to the source. Our connection is maintained through a heart that continually seeks to align its own desires with the divine plan. This is the delicate and beautiful dance of the spiritual life. Exercising bold authority while simultaneously walking in deep humility, seeking a higher will, is not a passive activity. It is an intentional pursuit. It means that in every decision we face today, from the small to the significant, our first question is not, what do I want? But what is the path of greater wisdom and love? It is a conscious decentering of the self and a centering on a divine purpose. It's easy to ask a higher power to bless our own plans. We come with our detailed agendas, our ambitions, and our goals, and we essentially say, here is my will. Please put your stamp of approval on it. But true spiritual maturity is to come with open hands and an open heart, saying, here is my life. What is your will for it today? There is a profound story in ancient texts about a prophet who was sent to anoint a new king. He went to a certain family and saw the eldest son, who was tall, strong, and impressive in appearance. The prophet thought, surely this is the one. But the divine voice spoke to him, saying, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The benevolent authority does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the source of all looks at the heart. One by one, 7 sons were brought before the prophet, and each one was rejected. Finally, they called for the youngest son, a shepherd boy, out in the fields, and the divine voice said, rise and anoint him. He is the one. This teaches us a vital lesson. What looks right to us, what makes sense to our human logic, is not always what is chosen in the divine plan. We may be chasing after the impressive-looking opportunity, the relationship that seems perfect on paper, the career path that promises status and wealth, but the central benevolent authority may have a shepherd boy hidden away for us, a path that seems smaller, humbler, less impressive to the world, but is, in fact, the very gateway to our destiny. To align with this will requires us to let go of our preconceived notions and our worldly metrics of success. It requires a deep and abiding trust that the divine architect sees the whole picture and is weaving a masterpiece, even when we can only see a few confusing threads. It means being willing to be led down unexpected paths, to embrace delays that are actually divine preparations, and to accept a no that is protecting us from something less than the ultimate yes. This alignment is cultivated in the quiet moments. It is nurtured when we read words of wisdom, when we meditate, when we spend time in nature, and when we simply quiet our own inner noise long enough to listen. Today, let us commit to walking in this alignment. Let every step we take, every word we speak, every choice we make be an echo of the prayer. Let your will be done in my life as it is in the realms of perfection. When we live from this place, we can walk with a confident peace, knowing that we are not just wandering through life, but are being guided with loving precision toward our ultimate purpose. In a world that is screaming for our attention every second of the day, perhaps the most radical act of spiritual warfare is the cultivation of inner stillness. We have spoken powerful declarations, and we have aligned ourselves with a higher will, but this connection must be maintained. The morning prayer is the charging of our spiritual battery, but throughout the day, the world will try to drain its power. We must therefore learn the art of creating sacred pauses, of finding moments of quiet amid the chaos to reconnect and recharge. The adversarial force despises silence. It thrives in noise, in hurry, in distraction. It knows that if it can keep you moving at a frantic pace, your mind cluttered with 1,000 thoughts, you will lose your connection to your peaceful center. You will begin to operate once again from a place of stress and your own limited strength. The divine presence, however, is most often found not in the earthquake, the wind, or the fire, but in a still, small voice, a gentle whisper. To hear that whisper, we must learn to be quiet. This does not mean you must retreat to a monastery. It means finding and sanctifying small pockets of time within your ordinary day. It could be the 5 minutes in your car before you walk into the office. Instead of turning on the radio, turn it off. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and simply say, I am here. I am present with you. Refill me with your peace. It could be the moment you pause before eating your lunch. Instead of scrolling through your phone, take 60 seconds to look at your food with gratitude, to remember the source of all provision, and to recenter your spirit. It could be a conscious choice to walk a longer route back to your desk, to feel your feet on the ground, to notice the light filtering through a window, and to reconnect with the simple present moment where a higher peace resides. These are not empty moments, they are powerful acts of spiritual maintenance. They are like a ship's captain making small, constant adjustments to the rudder to stay on course. Each sacred pause is a course correction, bringing you back into alignment with the peace and purpose you declared in the morning. This practice of finding stillness also sharpens your spiritual discernment. When your inner world is a whirlwind of noise, it is impossible to distinguish the voice of wisdom from the voice of fear. They all blend into one confusing roar. But when you cultivate inner quiet, the voices become distinct. You begin to recognize the frantic, demanding, and fearful tone of the adversarial force. You also begin to recognize the calm, reassuring, and loving tone of the divine guide. You learn to sense a check in your spirit, a gentle unease that tells you a certain path is not right. You learn to feel a yes, a deep, quiet sense of peace that confirms you are on the right track. This discernment is one of the greatest gifts of a quieted soul, and it will save you from countless wrong turns and unnecessary struggles. So today, I encourage you not just to start your day in peace, but to carry that peace with you by weaving moments of stillness into the fabric of your day. Resist the tyranny of the urgent. Push back against the world's demand that you be constantly busy and distracted. Give yourself the gift of the sacred pause. In these small pockets of quiet, you will find a deep well of strength, clarity, and peace that will sustain you no matter what your day may bring. This is how you walk in a constant state of connection, not just visiting the divine presence in the morning, but dwelling in it all the day long. As you cultivate this powerful inner life, starting your day with gratitude, surrender, and declaration, and maintaining it with moments of stillness, a beautiful and inevitable transformation occurs. You cease to be merely a recipient of a divine peace and begin to become a conduit of it. The light that you are so intentionally cultivating within yourself cannot be contained. It will begin to shine from you, illuminating the often dark world around you. You have been called not just to experience this peace, but to be a beacon of it. Your life lived from this centered and empowered place becomes a living testimony, a message of hope more powerful than any sermon. Think of yourself as a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not make a lot of noise. It does not run around trying to save ships. It simply stands firm on its rock, shines its light, and by its very nature, it guides those who are lost in the storm and darkness to safety. This is your purpose. In your family, when strife and anxiety begin to rise, your calm and centered presence can be the rock that keeps everyone from being swept away by the emotional storm. Your refusal to engage in panic, your gentle words of trust and reassurance become the light that guides your loved ones back to a place of peace. In your workplace, which is so often a breeding ground for stress, competition, and fear, your integrity, your kindness, and your unshakable peace will stand in stark contrast. People will be drawn to it even if they don't know why. Your ability to handle pressure without crumbling, to treat others with grace when they are acting out of stress, will be a silent but powerful witness to the different source from which you draw your strength. You may be the only glimpse of a higher peace your colleagues ever see. In your community, your willingness to forgive, to serve, and to love without an agenda becomes a radical act of hope. In a world that is increasingly fractured and divided, a life marked by grace and unity is a profound statement. Your simple acts of kindness, your words of encouragement to a weary cashier, your patience in a traffic jam, these small acts are beams of light that push back the darkness in tangible ways. The adversarial force wants you to believe your impact is insignificant. It will tell you who are you to make a difference, and you are just one person. But it is terrified of one person who is truly connected to the limitless source of all light. It knows that a single candle can illuminate an entire room. It knows that a single lighthouse can save a whole fleet of ships. Do not underestimate the power of a life lived in peace. You will never know the full impact you are having. You will never know the person who was on the brink of despair but saw the light of hope in your eyes and chose to hold on for one more day. You will never know the silent battles in the hearts of those around you that were calmed by your peaceful presence. Your role is not to measure your impact, but simply to shine. And the beautiful paradox is this: the more you shine your light for others, the brighter it becomes within you. The more peace you pour out, the more is poured into you. The more love you give away, the more your own heart is filled. This is the divine economy, where you only keep what you give away. So, as you go through this day, rooted in the declarations you have made, see every interaction as an opportunity. See every person as someone who needs to experience the peace that you carry. You are not just going to work. You are not just running errands. You are a lighthouse sent on a mission to bring light to a dark world, one peaceful moment, one kind word, one graceful act at a time. My beloved friend, we have come to the end of our time together this morning, but we stand at the very beginning of a new day, a day brimming with divine potential. Let us gather all the threads of our conversation and weave them into a final blessing, a seal upon your heart and mind as you step forward. We began by acknowledging the chaos that seeks to claim our mornings, and we chose instead to claim that sacred ground for peace. We rejected the frantic rush of the world and chose the deliberate, powerful act of a first conversation with our Creator. We built a foundation, not on the shifting sands of worry, but on the bedrock of gratitude, thanking the source of all life for the countless blessings we so often overlook. From that place of abundance, we found the strength to surrender, to release our tight grip on control, and to lay our heaviest burdens at the feet of the one who is able to carry them. We stepped into our spiritual authority, speaking bold declarations of protection over our lives, our homes, and our loved ones, commanding the forces of darkness to flee. We moved from defense to offense, calling forth the divine provision, favor, and purpose that are our birthright, decreeing a day of breakthrough and blessing. We humbled ourselves to seek alignment with a higher will, trusting that the divine architect has a plan far greater than our own. We learned the vital importance of cultivating inner stillness, of finding sacred pauses in our day to reconnect and recharge our spirits. And finally, we embraced our calling to be a beacon of light, to carry the peace we have received into a world that is desperate for hope. Now, receive this final blessing. May the peace that you have cultivated this morning guard your heart and mind like a fortress, impenetrable to the arrows of anxiety and fear. May the gratitude you have expressed be a constant song in your spirit, tuning your eyes to see the beauty and goodness in every circumstance. May the strength you have received from surrendering your burdens make you walk tall and unburdened, a testament to the freedom found in trust. May the authority you have exercised place you on a higher ground above the fray of earthly chaos, from where you can see with clarity and act with purpose. May you be led by a wisdom that is not your own, and may your steps be ordered with divine precision, placing you at the right place at the right time for a purpose beyond your imagining. And may the light of a higher presence shine so brightly in you and through you today that every person you meet is left a little better, a little more hopeful, and a little closer to knowing the source of the peace they see in you. Do not let this be a fleeting moment of inspiration. Let it be the new blueprint for your life. If these words have resonated with you, solidify your intention. Type, "I walk in peace and purpose" in the comments below to make a declaration to yourself in this community. Share this message with someone who woke up this morning with a heavy heart. Be the vessel of their encouragement, and subscribe to this channel so that we can continue to walk this journey together, strengthening and uplifting one another every single day. Go now in the fullness of this blessing and make this day a masterpiece. Amen.